guys, it's Jenny and I'm here to film a very popular video today, which is baby names that I love but won't be using. Probably. I'm not going to make any promises, but today we're going to do boys' names, and you never know what's going to happen obviously in the future. We haven't decided whether we're having more kids or not, but we may not have any more boys, so it's possible that we will never get to use any of the names on my boy list. So I have tons of names because I love baby names. I was obsessed with researching them when I was pregnant with Riker. So I have quite a few, and I actually have trimmed it down for you today, so this video is not too long. And I filmed girls separately, so that will be out shortly. So our son is named Ryker Austin Alexander, and there are many reasons why he has those specific names, which I won't really go into, but anyway, I love his name. I'm so happy with it. I think Ryker is a really fun, strong, interesting name, and I just love it, and we are very thrilled that that is what we ended up with. That being said, you'll probably notice a theme in some of my names, the names that I tend to like, and that is that they are much more old-fashioned, classical, historical, literary names. That tends to be generally what I am into, and I also like Celtic names. There's just a couple different things that, you know, play into why I like what I like. But in general, I don't like trendier names, which is funny because I think Riker is actually not, it's not an old-fashioned or classical or literary name. It does tend to sound a little bit more modern and trendy, which is funny. But that's like the one exception, and anyway, I just had to put that out there. I generally don't like the trendy names, but Riker just is awesome, so that's why we're going on with it. But the rest of the names on my list, you'll see, tend to be a little bit more traditional. And so, hi Lucy. So the first name on my list is a last name that can be used as a first name. I love that. I think it's really neat and very cool. And this name actually is inspired by my favorite all-time author, who is the incomparable Jane Austen, obviously. Austen is one of my son's middle names, and I'm really happy that I got to sneak that in there. But yes, Jane Austen and her characters are huge inspirations for me. And so if I could use the names of any of her characters in a child's name, that would just be really, really neat. So my all-time second favorite boy name at the moment, behind Ryker, is Bennet. Bennet is the last name, of course, of Austen's famous heroine, Lizzie Bennet. And I think it is an awesome name for either a girl or a boy, but I like it better for a boy, and I think it ages really well from a cute little boy named Bennet to a man named Bennet. And yeah, I don't know, I love everything about it. I love the Austenness, I love the coolness of the name, I love that it's a last name. I don't know, it's just like the neatest thing for me would be to have a little boy named Bennet. Second name on my list is also an Austen last name, believe it or not, and I didn't even put this together until after I'd already compiled my list. And so the second name is Elliot. I absolutely love the name Elliot. Oh my gosh, I've always loved this name for a little boy. Also for a man, I think it's a great name that ages with you. Elliot is also the name of a Jane Austen heroine. Anne Elliot is the leading figure in Persuasion, which is actually my favorite Austen novel. Don't tell, it's not actually Pride and Prejudice. So Elliot, because of that awesomeness, also because it's a last name that can be used as a first name, and because it can be used for a man or a woman, I think makes it really neat. But I love the sound of it. I love the old-timiness. I love that it's from Pete's Dragon, which is one of my favorite Disney movies as a kid. I don't know, there's just a lot of reasons why I love the name Elliot. But mostly I just love how it sounds. I love saying it. And I love the image of a little boy named Elliot running around. So the third name on my list is Tobias. And this is I don't know, it's an old name, but it could be seen as a little bit trendy, I guess. And it also is very popular because you can obviously use the nickname Toby for a little boy named Tobias. So I do like that. I love the name Toby. It was actually the name of my first car, believe it or not. I had a car named Toby. And I think it's really great for boys and men. I think Toby is a name that has lots of character. It's fun. I don't know, there's just something about it. And also my husband and I are huge musical theater nerds, and Toby is the name of a character from one of our favorite shows, which is Sweeney Todd. So that's another reason why the name Toby or Tobias was big on our list. My husband also really liked this name. That was one of his main considerations as a name for our son, too. After that, I have a Celtic name that I love, and it's actually getting much more popular the last couple of years, which is fine because it's a really awesome name, and that is Rowan. Rowan is an awesome name to say, to hear. It sounds great. It's very evocative to me of the Celtic culture, and it means little redhead in Celtic or Gaelic. Which I think is really awesome. For Riker, it actually would have been perfect because at least right now, Riker is a little strawberry blonde. I've always wanted to have a little redheaded kid, and so that would have been really neat. Anyway, I just love everything else about the name Rowan. It's also a name that can be used as a girl. I think that's pretty kind of common with some of my favorite names. But I like it for a boy. I think it's strong and adventurous, and it harkens to the moors and the dramatic highlands and landscapes and green valleys and hills of Scotland or Ireland, and I love that imagery and that feel that you get from the name. It also has a lot of history behind it, and I, of course, love names with history. So that's one of the reasons why Rowan is really high on my list. Other names that I really were into, I randomly, for some reason, really like fairy tale boy names. I don't know why. There's just something so timeless about simple, classic, strong names that have been used for mythological or storybook heroes, or, you know, these timeless tales. I'm not sure why, but I just really like that. So two of the names that I just kind of always imagined having little boys named would be Jack and Peter. Obviously very popular names in fairy tales and storybook worlds. And I don't know, I just think Jack and Peter are adorable names. I think they both are great for kids and adults. And there's just something, I can't even describe it. There's just something so wholesome and fun about them, and I don't know, I love the thought of little boys with these really strong classic names, the names of heroes. I don't know, I just love that imagery for some reason. Next on my list is a name that I adore and I really wish I could use for a kid, but I probably will never get to because I don't think my husband would agree to it, and that is Charlie. Charlie is another great name from a very famous story by Roald Dahl, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, obviously. But Charlie, more than anything, I think it's just a really spunky name full of character and fun. And like, you think of a kid named Charlie and he's just full of personality and character. And I love that about the name. I just think it's really cute, it's simple, and it just has so much, I don't know, there's so much going on in the name. It also has a history. It's obviously a shortened version of the name Charles, although I don't think I would actually name the kid Charles, I'd go with Charlie. And I don't know, there's a lot of literary characters named Charles or Charlie, and it's just something I love. Interesting note, my husband's name is Lee, L-E. His parents had a hard time picking his name. He wasn't named until a month after he was born, and then a month or two later, they were like, oh shoot, we should have named you Charlie. You're much more of a Charlie. And so his name should have been Charlie, but isn't. That's one of the reasons why he will never agree to use that name. Okay, next on my list are two old-fashioned names that are classic. They're literary, they've got tons of history, and they are extremely popular right now, and I'm sure you can guess what they are. It's Oliver and Henry. Sorry. I don't have any problem with using names that are popular if they're a good name, and these are great names, you know. I don't care if I know 20 babies named Oliver or Henry. If I want to name my kid that, I'm still going to name my kid that, you know. But anyway, I don't know, like I already said, they're just really strong, adorable, classic names that have a lot of significance. Henry, especially for me, is wonderful because of the historical significance it has. There have been so many rulers and strong people and characters throughout history named Henry, and I just love that. And especially because I'm a huge Shakespeare nerd also, there's a lot of Henrys in Shakespeare, especially from his histories, obviously. So that's one of the reasons why Henry is huge for me, but I also just love how simple and classic and it's just a great name. So I do love those, and my husband would not even consider them, so that's that. Oh, I think that was everything I had on my list for boys right now. I had more names, but I whittled it down a little bit. So that's going to be it for all my boys' names at the moment. I might look back into it and look back at my original list and put together another video on more names because I had so many. Oh. So yes, I'm going to stop talking now because this is long enough for a video about baby names. Make sure you check out my video on baby girl names because I also have some really great baby girl names that I may never get to use. Isn't that right, Lucy? Lucy came pre-named. I didn't actually get to name this one, but I do love the name Lucy, so yes, thank you, dear. We call her Lucille sometimes for fun, but I do love the name Lucy. Yes, you're a good girl. Okay, that's going to be it for Lucy and I. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Take care. See yas.